What's up, everybody? I am Richard.
And I'm Shawn. Spooky, spooky skeletons and shivers down your spine.
You know, when you do that, I'm just like, my best friend is the whitest guy on the planet. Anyway, we are speaking the language of bromance, and Shawn, the whitest guy on the planet. How are you, bud?
I'm good, Richard. I'm super scared right now. The wild hunt's on its way. I'm frightened.
Oh, shit.
I feel uncomfortable. I'm worried.
Oh, fuck. I can't remember the guy's name. The guy, the king of the hunt. I can't remember his name, but he was kind of a freaky dude.
It is pretty spooky. So,
you know what he reminded me of? Do you remember Willow?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you remember the bad guy in Willow that had a skull for like a helmet?
Yeah. That's like, because that's a legit skull. It's like you killed somebody, you scooped out all their innards, you boiled it.
You're wearing his head as a hat.
You talk about, so Richard, it's Halloween month, so Spooky Spooky Skeleton, I think, is the theme song for our Halloween month. And we've never talked about love.
That's true. That frightens me more than anything.
It does. You get tied down. Like, Richard, if we didn't love each other, there's so many things we could be doing right now besides talking to each other.
Oh, my God. Are you, right?
Yeah.
100%.
I tell my kid that all the time, and my wife. I'm like, you know what? If I didn't love you guys so much, it's scary how much more stuff I'd be able to do.
Do you know how productive I'd be?
What do you mean, Dad? Well, son, let me sit down. The wild hunt's coming, and I'm super scared. You want to play Gwent? No, it's one thing we've never really kind of dived into, and I figured it'd be fun is talking about just the things. It could be real things, it could be movies. Like you said, Willow, like that. Like Willow was a movie, first of all, that was kind of geared towards kids, but kind of creepy. Like it scared me.
It was kind of creepy.
Like I mean, I liked it.
That queen kind of freaks you out.
For sure. So in this Halloween spooky season, I thought we could kind of give everybody some shivers down their spines.
I mean, I don't know if we're gonna scare them. I think we're just gonna talk to each other and freak out each other.
Yeah, they're like, really? You're scared of that?
Yeah, right? That's stupid. You're stupid.
So the one thing that kind of sparked why I want to talk about this. So at game day, we were showing some movie. And it reminded me of a movie I saw when I was like 6 or 7.
Okay.
And it freaked me out. And as I read the synopsis, as I've kind of gotten older, it makes absolutely zero sense. But do you remember the movie Trolls 2? Not Trolls Conquer the World or whatever the new one is.
World Tour. World Tour. That's the one you're thinking of.
World Tour.
You mean, are you talking about Troll 2, which is like Harold? It's known as like one of the worst movies ever made in the history of ever.
Yeah, it's not good because I think it was on like Sci-Fi or USA back when they would do like the.
I'm gonna say if you were 6, I'm gonna say it was like one of those late at night USA movies.
No, this was like an afternoon, like a Saturday afternoon. This was on.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Sci-Fi. Because Sci-Fi always would have like weekends where it would show like insects movie, giant mutant insects are coming to eat your face. We've got tick, we've got mosquito, we got ladybug, we got granddaddy longlegs.
Yeah. Okay. I want to talk about granddaddy longlegs for a second because I heard, and I don't know if this is true. I have no idea. So maybe you can enlighten me on this. I have heard that daddy longlegs actually is like super poisonous, like lethally poisonous to humans. But the issue is that their jaws are not strong enough to penetrate human skin. So in the event a daddy longlegs ever does a bunch of mouth workouts and develops jaw strength, that they could actually like kill humans very, very easily.
You know, to be fair, I haven't seen that many granddaddy longlegs more recently.
You know why? They're all at the mouth gym.
Well, I thought that would like they figured out like how to bite humans, so the government has destroyed them. And so there's like one super granddaddy.
They changed all the batteries in the birds, and then the birds ate them.
Yeah. Well, it's like, and first off too, like, is there not a more sexual name for a bug?
Daddy Longlegs.
Yeah, it's like, hey, let's call this Longlegs. It's like, no, let's call him Granddaddy Longlegs.
You think that's sexual? Do you think they wanted to call it like Big Papa Dong Dick?
Well, I figured they just wanted to call it like Longlegs. We'll call it the Longleg Spider. It's kind of a mouthful. Granddaddy Longlegs.
I always thought it was just Daddy Longlegs. I didn't know there was a grand in front of it.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the ones you have to fight. Like that's the boss grand. That's the boss one.
It's the boss. It's wearing a little crown, so that way you know it's in charge.
It's doing little like leg kicks.
No, there's other Longlegs that are carrying it on a chair. That's how you know.
But
no, this weird music plays whenever
I feel like that's like the Mandela effect thing, because I remember seeing Granddaddy Longlegs all over the place when I was younger.
Yeah,
but I don't remember the last time I've seen one.
Is that a Daddy Longlegs? Do. Oh nope, that's a Granddaddy Longlegs. How do you know? Do you hear the boss music?
All right, kids, get out the magical weapons. No,
it's dangerous to go alone.
I remember seeing this movie when I was young, and the part that always threw me off is because the town. Do you remember what the town was named, Richard?
No, because I think I watched that movie once, and it was kind of one of those like you watched it so you could say that you watched it, but I do not remember a single thing about it, not one.
Well, it sat with me pretty hard because I remembered like the town was weird, and it was called Nilbog. And there's a scene where the kid's looking in a rearview mirror and sees it, and it says, Richard, what Nilbog is backwards? Goblin.
Oh, I think there's a D&D monster called the Nilbog. I think it's like a hag.
Honestly, like now that I think about it, I usually name a lot of my stuff by reversing things. I bet this is where I got it subconsciously.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Just now thought about that.
Sometimes if when I'm running a D&D game and I need a name for a demon, I just I make up a word for a prescription medication in my head, and that's the name of the demon.
Like what?
Like
you're about to face the evil ibuprofen.
Well, no, you see those like stupid ass commercials for medications for like Crohn's disease or gout or shit like that. Like that's what I think of. Hang on. It's Ixamodafil. Sounds like a demon name, right?
Side effects may include stabbing, fireballs, and anal bleeding.
Yeah, because it's a demon, and that's what it does.
No, but so Trolls 2, the other thing that was weird, so they're basically like turning people into vegetation to eat them, which I guess after looking into it more, like the plot of this is like these goblins, these trolls, wanted to go vegetarian. So they used humans and turned them into plants. And when I read that, I'm like, wait a second, that doesn't make any sense.
If you're making people into plants, be like, now we're vegetarians. Be like, that's not how that works.
You know what else is weird? So like,
it's like putting lettuce on a hamburger and going, well, now I'm vegetarian.
Guess I'm vegan now. Yum, 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 yum. No, but so the other weird thing, like, there's some kind of like home exchange vacation thing in here. So the people that lived in Nilbog, they switch. Like the Nilbog family goes to their home, and the family that's not goblins go to their home. And I think this is why Airbnbs freak me out, because the mom and the son are the only two to survive, and they get back to the house like everybody's dead from what I remember. And the mom's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go take a bath." And I'm like, "Well, I mean, maybe you should call the cops. Maybe you should do something." But you forget, Richard, the other family's there. Yeah.
Do you think, like, you watch horror movies and you see people being stupid, and then you're like, why did they do that? Like, I wouldn't do that. And then, but like, if you really think about it, like, would you do something different, or would you be just as stupid as the people in the movie?
Probably, because I feel like it's like zombie apocalypse movies. Everybody's always like, oh my God, they're so dumb. Why'd they do that? Honestly, you wouldn't know you're in a zombie apocalypse movie until it's probably too late.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
like somebody falls in front of your house, you're like, oh God, call the ambulance. Like the opening, I think the best movie it does this is Zack
Dawn of the
Snyder's remake, Dawn of the
Yeah.
Dead.
Yep. I was gonna say the same
Oh
thing.
my gosh, that opening
Because
scene,
it just comes out of nowhere.
yeah, because that
Like
kid
you just wake up and then why is there a kid in my house? I don't have any kids. Why is there a kid in my house? Oh shit, the kid just bit my husband. Oh shit, now my husband's like trying to kill me.
Yeah, well, and if it happened that quick too, because like she like puts something on it, she's trying to find something, he dies, and then he sits up in bed, and she's like, he's like,
Yeah.
Another movie that does a good job with that is 28 Weeks Later, the opening to that movie.
I'm trying to see if I remember the opening to 20. I vaguely remember the opening to 28 Days Later, but I do not. I can't think of.
28 Weeks Later was where they were like in a like farm home out far away, and then like somebody gets bit or something happens, and like he's running away. He ends up having to leave his wife, and he has to jump in that boat to get away.
Okay. Oh, okay. I think I know. You all right?
Yeah, I thought I heard something. It's probably a goblin. But no, like it's a horrible movie. It's been titled the best worst movie, and I only saw it when I was a kid. So as a kid, you've got these things going around, like and like when they ate people, like it would turn them green. From what I remember, like no,
because they're veggie now. Now they're veggies. Is that how Beyond Meat's made?
Probably. It's probably people. That's why it's
is that
okay.
How they made, is that how they make the Impossible Burger?
Is
it really impossible because it actually is burger?
Well, it's actually human flesh. That's what it is. It's like, well, I mean, eating human, you're still vegan.
Yeah. And then you're like, you're eating people. And you're like, that's not possible. And then you're like, And then you're like, oh, I get it. Well, guess I'm a cannibal now.
Yep, that's my life. Get some fava beans. I always wonder, there's a lot of vegan people that talks like, oh my God, I can never eat like animals because I love animals so much. And it's like, what if you're on a desert island and there's like a
I think if you're
flounder.
on a desert, do you think that, I think that, obviously a vegan's gonna, if a vegan lands on a desert island, crashes on a desert island, they're gonna eat meat because they're like, yes, I'm principled, but at the same time, I don't want to die.
Yeah.
So principle number one is don't die.
I bet. How long do you think somebody could hold off? I give it like 6 days.
I think, I mean, whatever causes you to, when you're on that starvation brink, it's like the thing with cats and dogs. Like if you die in your house, then the cat is, as soon as almost before the body goes cold, the cats, start eating at you,
that
so like you have a heart attack
fear.
and you collapse in your kitchen. The cats are going for you first, and they're gonna go eyes and
Isn't the
eyes
cheek
and
a big
ears, and I think nose.
Oh, okay. I thought the cheek was a big one.
Maybe cheek. Yeah, that sounds right. Soft tissue.
That's probably my biggest fear. Because, like, first off, I think walking in and seeing that would be my worst fear. Like, imagine, like, you come over to my house, or I go over to your house. I'm like, oh my God, Richard and I are doing a live show. And I walk in, the dog's carrying one of your arms.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's a weird toy. And I look over, the cat's just munching on your cheeks.
But see, a dog will avoid eating you completely until it's left with no other option. Like that dog will basically starve itself before it starts, like chewing on your arm.
Yeah. And that's probably more like instincts kick in. Like your body starts to get like a smell.
Yeah, exactly.
And
like once once a dog starts eating you, it's because like it's either that or it dies.
They usually put those animals
Cats
down,
don't give a fuck.
Oh, we've talked about this because I was asking you if you'd ever take somebody's cat that ate them. Like if you'd take my cat if it ate me, because they usually put them down.
No, I wouldn't.
It's just
I
a
don't want
circle
a
of
cannibal
life.
cat in my house. That means I know that it like has no qualms about it, which I know that cats in general have no qualms about. But like, I feel like it'd be a little bit more willing. Like if I sleep a little too hard, then the cat's gonna be like nom 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 nom.
You like drink a little bit too much. You kind of have that heavy pass out sleep, or you take some NyQuil because you're feeling sick, and it's like, oh, he's dead. Nom nom nom.
Yep, one too many whiskey sours. I sleep until 10 in the morning. I wake up with half of a face because, I didn't fill the cat bowl at 7 a.m.
You're like, what's going on? The cat's just sitting there with a fat belly. Oh, I should have stopped, but it was so tasty.
Fuck that. I'm not taking your cannibal cat. And you shouldn't take my cannibal cat.
I would not take your cannibal cat.
I don't think that they would. I don't think that, that would happen.
Isn't that kind of sad, though? They're like, sorry, can't. We got to kill it. It's got the taste of human flesh now.
Yeah.
I don't know if I buy that. Like, they always talk about bears and stuff. I think it's just a sick, like, revenge thing about humans.
It's just payback.
Yeah.
This is for Stan.
Bang. Well, is that the bear? Probably.
Are you sure that was the bear? I don't know.
He was eaten by his cat.
Had teeth.
Well, you can't be too safe.
A bear is a bear is a bear. Am I right?
It's,
no, you're not right. One bear ate somebody and one bear didn't.
It's just
how do you know you got the right bear?
To shoot a bear that eats somebody. Something like that. Moving on. I heard there's a cougar in the next town that ate somebody.
Yeah. I don't know. They all look alike. That's bear racism.
That's bearsome. Bearism.
Yeah.
Bearism?
Be a bear. Don't you're being embarrassed.
So the biggest fear that like I can think of when I was a kid, that like trolls I was like scared of, but like it didn't really hold too much of water. But I remember my grandma having 3 videotapes at her house, Richard.
Okay.
She had Dumb and Dumber.
So now you have an irrational fear of Jim Carrey.
I kind of do.
Don't we all?
Leprechaun 2 or Leprechaun 3. It wasn't the one in the hood, which I think is the third one, which had boobies in it, which was kind of cool when I was a kid.
Why did your grandma have a tape that had boobies in it?
My grandma likes scary movies because the third movie was the It TV series.
Okay.
And my sister absolutely loved watching this movie. Like, we'd go over to grandma's. First thing, hey, can we watch It? And I'm the older brother, so I have to be like, yeah, let's watch it. I'm totally not scared.
Yeah, because I'm not scared. Because I think it's stupid.
Yeah, clowns. I'd kick his ass. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
I would be like,
Fuck
you know what
Tim
I'm
Curry.
scared of? Nothing. Pennywise. Oh, shit, he's behind me. No,
He didn't sound like that though, because it was Tim Curry. So he was like, I'm Pennywise.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, I need to rewatch those. They were always like really scary until you got to the end. You're like, oh, he's a big spider. He's a granddaddy long legs. Is that what that is?
I'm the most terrifying thing in the animal kingdom.
You're like,
daddy long legs.
You raise your hand. You're like, Pennywise. He's like, yes, you in front. It's like, you don't have a big enough mouth. You don't have a big enough mouth to bite us.
Yeah, I don't think you're strong enough to puncture our skin.
I mean, you're just kind of like gnawing on me. It's actually kind of like a nice massage.
That's science.
Wait, is this how you got your name, Granddaddy?
Spank me, Granddaddy. Bite me hard, Granddaddy.
You just ruined it. I've had that happen once, and I was like, nope, we're done.
Where you got bit?
No, where I got called Daddy.
Oh yeah, nope. Yeah. I'm a big nope on that.
Yep.
Nope, it's too much.
Yep.
It's too much.
You crossed the line. Can't handle this. She's like, what are you, little bitch? I'm like, about this? Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that, and then I was like, no, you're in timeout.
Come over here, get over my knee. I'm going to give you a spanking.
Okay, so like you were talking about like Pennywise and Leprechaun, like the things that I was terrified, the movies that I was terrified of when I was a kid were kind of like silly and irrational to be terrified of. And I'm not saying that like being terrified of the leprechaun is rational, but like mine felt even more irrational. Who I was terrified of when I was a kid? I was terrified of the Goblin King. I was terrified of David Bowie.
I mean, it makes
from
sense.
Labyrinth.
Some weird looking dude coming into your bedroom trying to steal you.
Yeah, and he's got a big snake. He comes in and he's being all David Bowie, and he's got the big snake, and he snatches babies up from their fucking crib. That was fucking terrifying to me.
Did you put the logic in your head though? Like, well, I'm not a baby, so I'm safe.
Well, no, I didn't. You're
like, I'm too cute. He's definitely going to take me.
Yeah. Here's the stupid part. The stupid part was, like, I felt like there was a part of me that knew it was David Bowie. I'm like, well, that's just David Bowie.
Yeah. You could rationalize.
And I wasn't terrified of David Bowie. I saw Ziggy Stardust when I was a kid. I heard David Bowie's music. I was like, he was dancing in the streets with Mick Jagger.
How many movies has he been in? He's been in a few, hasn't he?
He was in. Now I honestly have to think. There was Labyrinth. I think there was like maybe 2 other ones, but I honestly couldn't tell you.
So going back, kind of comparing these two. When I had my irrational fears of Pennywise, I remember I've talked about this a couple times, but I remember looking down a hallway, like we're at some kind of like Lions Club type thing. Like I was probably there a little bit later than I should have. So I was a little tired and kind of probably like, in that like land a nod. And I remember looking down a hallway and just seeing him wave at me. Like a dark hallway. Yeah. Like it freaked me out. And so we get home that night and I go to bed, and again, it's been late. And so I like wake up and I see him at the end of my bed just waving.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So I like calmly get up, flip the lights on in my room, go to the living room, flip all the lights on there and lay in bed or lay in the couch.
Wait a minute. So he was at the foot of your bed waving at you, and you still calmly got up and went and turned on your bedroom light?
I thought it was like in my head. I was like, if I don't acknowledge that he's here, nothing's going to happen to me.
I was totally in that camp. I was the kid, like, if I was, terrified of, like, I don't know, like Michael Myers. Like if I was afraid Michael Myers was going to jump out of the closet and stab me in the face, then I would take the covers and pull them up over my head, because now I'm in an impenetrable fortress that no blade shall ever pierce.
I feel like that's something, like, you had to learn that, because I did the same thing. And I couldn't have my foot like out under the bed because something would grab it.
Fortress of solitude made of, shitty thread count polyester.
Yeah, and my Alf comforter keeping me safe.
Yeah, was going to protect me from any and all attacks from nefarious foes.
Well, and I think as a kid, like, you almost make up, like, all this stuff is made up in your head anyway, right? Like, there wasn't Pennywise at the end of my bed. But then you make up things like, oh, well, he feeds off your fear, so if you're not scared of him, he can't do anything to you. But then it just makes you more scared.
Yeah. But with that, I mean, there's justification for that, because you watched it, so you understand, like, that's the way it was explained to you. But like, oh, well, he feeds off fear. And so, like, the kid logic to you goes, okay, well, if I'm not afraid, then he's just a stupid clown. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, I just have to be like Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone and be like, I'm not afraid anymore. No, but my mom came walking out and had all these lights on. She's like, what are you doing? Go to bed. And I'm like, Mom, I think there's somebody in my room. And you just hear, John,
why are all the lights on in the house? It's the boy, isn't it? Did he pee his pants?
Did I pee my pants? I don't think I pee my pants that night. I was scared though. Like, and then they checked rooms, like, there's nothing in there, and I had to go back in there. I don't think I slept a wink that night. Because the other big fear I had to tie in with it, so it's like, go to your room and go to sleep. It's like, there's nothing in there, but then it's like, but if I go to sleep, somebody in my dreams might get me. A la Freddy Krueger.
Man, you just didn't give yourself a moment's peace.
No, I didn't. So it's funny because, like, so I rewatched some of, like, YouTube highlights of the original It, and it's super campy. Like, you watch it now and you're like, why was I ever scared of this?
Yeah.
I didn't watch the remake Nightmare on Elm Street until probably maybe a year ago. And I was nervous to watch it that like I wouldn't be able to sleep because I hadn't seen any Nightmare on Elm Street since like high school.
Right.
And there would still be times where I'll be laying in bed by myself and my brain would be like, you know what you haven't thought about in a while? Freddy Krueger. Like, all right, well, I guess I'm awake now.
Sleeps for the week. Am I right? Am I right?
That's right. Like, oh shit, who was that?
You know, like, so if I think about like, you know, scary things from media, like movies and television and stuff like that, the only two that like readily come to mind were the Goblin King was David Bowie, and the other one was Jack Nicholson from The Shining.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Those were the two. But but the thing is that other than those two, everything else that like I was scared of was completely made up. Like it was like fictitious monsters or fictitious psycho killers. Like there wasn't anybody specific I had in my brain. It was just, you know, random terrifying creature that I made up or random terrifying psycho killer that I made up.
Oh, so you were more like an urban legend, like that's what scared you.
Kind of, yeah. I was never afraid of monsters under my bed, but I was definitely afraid of stuff in my closet.
Yeah, closet was a big fear. Behind the shower curtain, which should be the name of like a scary movie.
True story. If I'm at somebody's house, or even sometimes when I'm in my own house, if I go to the bathroom and the shower curtain is closed, I will punch it. I will punch the shower curtain, and like I will punch it till not like punch it with my whole fist, but I will put my fist like out and hit the shower curtain until I touch the back wall, so I know there's nothing behind it.
You're like,
I used to do this thing where I would like pull the curtain. I would pull the curtain back and kind of like look behind it.
Yeah, that's what I always did.
But see, I came to the conclusion that if I did that, then somebody's just like, if there is somebody on the other side, that all they're doing is waiting for me to stick my head around the corner, and then they're going to chop my head off. And, or even if it's somebody that's just like a friend that's like hid in the bathroom to scare me, like that's when they're going to do it. So now what I do is like I said, like occasionally I still do this. I go to the bathroom and I just like hit the shower curtain, or I like push my hand on the shower curtain until I touch the wall. So that way I am completely 100% assured that there is nobody on the other side of that shower curtain. But you know what? You know what the dirty little secret is? The dirty little secret is, in the event I ever do that and I feel another body, I'm going to be just as terrified as if they jumped out and scared me in the fucking first place.
I was just thinking, like, you push your hand, you like thunk, you're like, ooh, this shower's not as deep as I thought it would be.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, don't have to go to the bathroom anymore.
And then you feel a body on the other side. Nope. Like, I'm going to be just as fucking scared and terrified as if they had jumped out and scared me while I'm sitting on the toilet.
And let's throw this out there. Like, you know, I would never do this to you. I don't think you'd ever do it to me. But like hiding in showers or hiding in places to jump scare your friends, like that's a good way to get like the shit kicked out of you.
I feel like that's how you get broken shower doors.
That too, yeah. And if it's a glass one,
yeah,
the shower rod comes, hits you in the face, you slip and fall and break your neck.
Yep. Or you basically, your whole body goes through a glass shower door.
Yeah. Now you have a dead body.
Yeah.
Now what do you do?
Yeah. Then like, well, it's already in the shower. I guess we'll just have to chop it up here.
Yep. I don't want to go to prison.
That's what happened to my first wife. She was big on pranks.
Yeah.
Not
I always
anymore.
liked Jennifer, though. She was kind of cool.
Fucking bitch.
I like Amanda better, but Jennifer wasn't too bad.
Me too. 100%.
Jennifer always made those little tart things that tasted like a key lime pie.
And then she made them with glue, and then you bite into it, and you're like, "This is glue," and she'd be like, "Ha ha ha!"
Yeah.
She put mayo in the fucking donuts.
Mm-hmm. Which, I mean,
fine.
it took
She
me
got
like
hers.
6 to figure that out. Because I was like, what's... I taste a hint of something I can't put my finger on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was clogged for a month.
Yeah. Don't worry. I took care of it.
Yeah.
Convenient to the shower. Am I right?
I know, right?
Am I
One
right?
prank too far.
Yep.
And who would have
I'm going
thought,
to
like, when
jail
you went
now.
to the hardware store, that's where you met Amanda? She just made the joke. She's like, are you
Hi,
disposing
I'm
of a
Richard.
body?
Hi, I'm
You're like,
Amanda. What's that?
Maybe.
Shears. Do you have a hedge? No.
So, you're kind of cute. Are you single? I will be in about an hour.
Yeah. 1 to 3 hours, depending on how long this takes.
Shawn can take care of it. Let's go out right now.
But yeah, I was terrified of just made up shit, like shit that I made up in my head, and that's why I'm when it comes to a lot of times when it comes to like horror movies and scary movies and stuff like that, it definitely for me it less is more.
Oh,
like
yeah.
if it's the things that you don't show me are the things that really terrify me. The best example I can think of is in the old Universal horror movie Frankenstein. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
There's a scene where there's a little girl, and she's playing by this lake, and Frankenstein's monster, who had just broken out of the castle, Frankenstein's monster comes up, and he's hanging out with a little girl, and they're like having a fun time. Like they're just hanging out and whatever. And they're pulling petals off of flowers and throwing the little petals in a lake. Okay. And so she pulls a petal off, and then Frankenstein's monster pulls a petal off, and they go, and then eventually they run out of petals on the flower. And so Frankenstein doesn't know what the fuck to do because he's like, well, is the game over or what? And then you just see him pick the girl up, and then she's like, ow, that hurts. And then the camera just cuts away. And then the exact next scene, the little girl's dead. And then you're like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
Because everything that I was dreaming up in my head as what happened between that fade out and fade in is 1,000 times worse than anything you could have shown me on that screen.
Yeah. Did he rip her in half? Did he throw her in the water? Did he drown her?
Did he like rip an arm off and throw it in the water and then rip another arm off and throw it in the water?
He's like, sploosh. Sploosh.
It's fun to be in nature.
So when my son still is he gets pretty scared. Like he doesn't really sleep by himself yet because like his closet kind of scares him. If he's in his room by himself, he gets scared.
He should be. Closets are terrifying.
Yeah, he doesn't like going in our bathroom by himself because he has to pass our closet.
Yeah.
And like I remember being that age, like I just had a super overactive imagination. And like you were saying, even to this day, like, so what are all those doll movies that just came out where the dolls like haunted? Annabelle, right?
Annabelle was the haunted doll.
Yeah. So I never watched any of those because I was like, it's possession, it's weird toys. Like I can't watch it because I'll get scared. Like even now. And finally, one game day they put it on. I'm just kind of like, yeah, we can watch this. It won't bother me. But you watch it and it's like, this is all this is. Like my imagination made this to be a lot scarier than what it really is. Like it's almost
because I think in those movies you never really see the doll do anything. You see the doll sitting there with its creepy ass fucking smile, and then bad shit happens, and then it cuts to the doll, and the doll's got like blood on its mouth.
Yeah,
it's always that urban legend of the Raggedy Ann, or no, the Smurfs. Do you remember the urban legend about the Smurfs poster?
Yeah, but go ahead and tell it because it's pretty creepy.
Because so the way the story goes is there was a kid who like goes to his parents and says that at night these Smurfs. He has the Smurfs poster on his wall, and he says at night that the Smurfs come out and they try and kill him, like they want to eat him. and he's terrified, and the parents are like, go back to bed. And at one point the parents come into the room and the kid's dead, and then they look and there's blood smeared on the Smurfs poster and nowhere else. And that's the story.
Yeah. Creepy. Urban
Super
legends.
creepy.
Can
you imagine being eaten by Smurfs?
I don't know. I mean,
they're sitting there and they're like chewing on your arm, and they're all like, "Oh, you're Smurf-tastic, nom 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 nom," and they come up with all these fucking stupid adjectives that they put the word Smurf in, and you're like, I don't know whether to be terrified that I'm dying or like pissed that you don't know how to speak the King's English.
Yeah, you kind of get annoyed after a while. It's like, you're going to Smurf heaven. It's like, no, I'm dying, bitch.
No.
Hey, watch your Smurfing language.
And it's not Smurf-tastic.
No,
it's terrible. It's just terrible. It's not Smurf terrible. It's not Smurfrific. It's bad. It's bad. It's just bad.
Like, you think about like little things that are super vicious, like a granddaddy longlegs, terrifying. No, but you think of like, did you ever watch? It was the movie Little Soldiers.
I actually don't think I watched that movie start to finish.
Yeah, it's basically like they put AI into these like marine toys, and then they put like docile and like these other toys that's supposed to be like a big battle. But it's
it was kind of like demonic toys, wasn't it?
Kind of, but it was AI.
But so the demonic toys were possessed, and this was like Terminator, but the Terminators were very small and made out of plastic.
Yeah, and it's meant for kids, but it's actually kind of scary. It's got the guy from I think it was the last movie he was ever in. He was from SNL and the radio show too. His wife was the one that ended up killing him.
Phil Hartman.
Phil Hartman. It was his last movie, I think.
Oh, okay.
And like it's good, but like when you watch it as a kid, it's like, no, I don't want my freaking army guys trying to kill me or take me hostage. Like,
yeah, the head one looked like Guile from Street Fighter, right? With the flat top haircut.
Yeah, because like one of them cut, like his arm gets ripped off, so he puts like a knife on it, like a butcher knife.
Yeah.
No thanks. Like another movie like back then that I watched probably too young, that like when I finally actually sat and watched it, I'm like, I don't know why I was scared of this. The Lost Boys.
That one, you were afraid to watch it, but once you watched it, you were like, oh, this is fine.
No, like I watched bits and pieces of it when I was probably like 6 or 7 maybe. And so it was enough that it freaked me out because it's a very dark kind of shot movie. And I didn't know a ton about vampires except like you knew some of the rules, but like this movie kind of bends those rules. You know, like the idea of like, oh, water can hurt them. But it's like, no, but garlic can, but they can't come in your house. But these guys can come in their house.
They had to be invited to come in the house. But wait,
I think
at the end of the movie, all the boys like just bust into the house.
Yeah, it's not very clear if because they invited the head vampire, all the rules are done for them too, or if when he was invited, he could eat garlic and stuff. Because that was kind of the thing where they fed him garlic. And he's like,
"That's right." It's okay. Yeah. You're right. It's because they invited the head vampire in, then shit like garlic and stuff like that didn't affect him, but.
I think they could just go in though. So if he's like, I'm going to go in and murder your whole family, he could. But if you invite him in, then he can eat garlic. So maybe he just wanted like a good pizza.
There is a logic to that movie that I guess I'm right now struggling to understand. Like the more I think about it.
Well, they definitely did like more of a hierarchy. So like if you kill the main vampire, everybody below goes back to normal. So I wonder if inviting him kind of like it trickled down to everybody else.
Yeah, maybe.
Trickle down vamponomics.
Trickle down vampirism. That's what it is. No, because they said if you kill the head vampire, all the half vampires return to normal. And the half vampires were the ones that hadn't killed anybody.
That's right. Killed or fed?
Just killed. Because they had to drink blood, otherwise they wouldn't be half vampire. They'd just be people.
Well, I think they had to feed. I don't think they had to kill. I need to rewatch that because it is a good movie.
It is a good movie.
Because that was the star hadn't killed anybody yet. You
know what the best part of that movie was? The very, very beginning of that movie. There's a guy who's wearing blue jeans and no shirt, and his entire top half is oiled to bejesus.
I don't know if I remember this part.
And he's got a big gold chain around his neck. He's playing a saxophone and he's wearing sunglasses, and it's the middle of the night. And he's got that haircut where like it's like the underneath is shaved and the whole top's pulled back into a ponytail. Shawn, that man has to be, even to this day, that has to be the sexiest man ever captured on film.
Every survey, he's number one,
bar none.
There was a cool. I think I only got like the first 4 or 5 issues, but they were trying to like basically make like Lost Boys Part 2 like take place like right after all that, and he was actually a vampire hunter.
Oh, that's perfect. He does this thing where like he's jamming out and he's jerking his whole body and like jamming out on that sax.
I don't even know what
like,
this.
That's liquid sex right there.
Yeah, I don't even know what words
I
he
avert
says.
my wife's eyes. Whenever we watch it, I always cover my wife's eyes. I'll be like, no. If you see this, then you'll leave me because, you're like, oh, this is what a man could be.
Yeah, because then she's like, let's watch Aquaman. You're like, well, on to wife number 3.
I'm less terrified of her watching Aquaman than I am seeing that fucking sexy ass saxophone playing, sunglasses at night wearing motherfucker.
So is that your biggest fear, that you guys are going to go to a con and that's the guy that's going to be there?
Yep. That's it. That's my biggest fear.
Do you even remember what the words he was saying?
He still wears those ripped, faded blue jeans to this day.
Yeah. Baby oil on Amazon Prime. That's a good movie though. That was one, like I was kind of scared to watch it. And I borrowed it from one of my dad's cousins, I think. Because she was watching, and I was like, oh, I've never seen all this. She's like, well, here, you can borrow it. And I had it probably for like a year or two. And so I finally watched it. It was maybe like 12 or 13. And like you finish it and you're like, why was I scared of this? Like it's not.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Goonies, but with vampires.
Yeah.
Although Goonies kind of creeped me out too. I'm not going to lie about that.
What freaked you out about Goonies?
The mom. 100% the mom. I'm pretty sure I've seen her in something else where she like
is probably Throw Mama from the Train.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah,
Ooh.
the one with Danny DeVito and Billy Crystal, where it's kind of like Misery. It's kind of like the movie Misery, but it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, okay. So if I think now that I'm thinking about it, there's only one other character that kind of scared me, and that was Michael Myers. Were the Halloween movies. Michael Myers scared me. Here's why Michael Myers scared me, is because Michael Myers was everywhere. In my head, I'm like, well, don't fall asleep on Elm Street and Freddy Krueger won't eat your face. Don't go camping at Crystal Lake and certain parts of Manhattan and at one point a space station, and Jason won't chop your head off. Michael Myers in my head, Michael Myers to me was everywhere. I'd be sitting on the couch and Michael Myers jumps up from behind the couch and stabs me in the face. In my head, Michael Myers could be anywhere at any time. Because it felt like he just felt like a crazy psycho killer.
No, yeah. He like killing for no reason. Because the first one originally, he wasn't even like related to her, like Laurie. He was just out killing.
Right.
That was kind of a
He's
retcon.
just out killing people. Just randomly fucking killing people.
Yeah. So kind of like what you saw, like, I don't know what your thoughts are on Rob Zombie's Halloween. I really like it. I think that Michael Myers scares me more because that one's a little bit more real. Like the other one, you can put like, after you get into like 2 and 3, it's like, okay, this isn't a real like person.
Yeah. Like once it got to like 3, yeah. Not 3, 4. Once you got to Halloween 4, it definitely like took on this weird, like almost supernatural component to it.
Yeah.
Like in 1 and 2, he was just a crazy weird killer. And 1 and 2, I feel like you have to watch. If you watch 1 and 2, you have to watch it back to back because they it feels like it's like watching Godfather 1 and 2. Like they're so perfectly butted up against each other. Like you can stop one and instantly start the next, and you don't miss a single beat. But yeah, Michael Myers was everywhere to me in my head.
I really like. So we're actually should be getting Halloween Kills at some point.
No, yeah.
Did you see the Halloween that they? It's basically like the
last
rebooted
one,
sequel.
The last one that came out. I did not.
It's pretty good. It basically kind of because it retcons everything except the first one. So this is supposed to be like the sequel to the first movie.
See, I don't like that because like I said, like 2 felt so like 2 was so seamless.
Yeah, well, it was made that way because I mean, they didn't make 1 and 2 back to back because 1 was independent, 2 wasn't, was it, or was it independently done too?
I don't know. I am not a buff on the history of the Halloween series.
Yeah, I dug it. I'm kind of curious what because they don't really mention if they're related at all. So it's just kind of like him coming back to get his revenge on her.
Yeah, I don't think they because 1 is like he's going to try and kill Laurie, and then maybe that's like his intention, but it just seems like he's just like randomly like going around stabbing people in the face. 2 was when he goes to the hospital.
Yeah.
And he's killing people all over the hospital.
Hospital ones are like, that's scary to me. Like, I mean, first off, hospitals are creepy on their own.
Yeah.
I mean, you used to work at one, so you know what it's like to be at a hospital late at night. I never worked there. I never worked there late at night. I think there were a couple times I was there when like everybody was gone, like for the night, but I was never really there that long. And I had like, there were a couple people with me because we were like unpacking something or doing something. Oh, I gotcha.
But yeah, okay, like my wife, for example, like my wife works overnights. Like she's always like she's worked overnights at hospitals and nursing homes, and she's done it for years.
Couldn't do it.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. I don't know, man.
I stayed so when we had our kid, we were in just the hospital for like 3 or 4 nights. I don't remember what. But it was, I mean, that was just unsettling. And we were in like the new baby ward, you know?
Yeah, where like everything's supposed to be like nice and like there's like, nice pretty wallpaper on the walls and it's pink and blue. And there's like little pictures of storks on it. And
although you don't get any sleep, and that's pretty much because you have a newborn baby. Like, oh, it can't be that bad, can it? Oh, yeah, it's like literally like no sleep. Like they're not kidding.
No.
Like I say, I think we were in there for like 3 or 4 days. It may have only been 2 nights, Richard. I don't even know.
Time just felt irrelevant at some point.
That's the scariest part, Richard, is we're in there and we're like sleep deprived. Like, okay, you can go home now. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, home?
Okay, think about this. Like, because it's not really until you like really start thinking about it that like how terrifying this is. Okay. So, you're with your wife and she has a kid, and then you're there for like a couple days, and then they're just like, all right, here you go. Here's the baby. Yeah. Goodbye. And they just like shove you in a car, and then you drive away with the fucking kid in the back.
Yeah. Well, no, they make you watch videos. It's like, hey, if you get angry, don't shake this baby. And you're like, they have to make videos for this?
Well, it's just like, doesn't it just seem fucked up? Like it's, they just give you a fucking baby and they're like, here you go. Don't fucking break it.
Well, I mean, think about like,
and then you get in the car and you drive away and there's a fucking child in the back.
Yeah.
They don't know where, like the people at the hospital, they don't know where the fuck you're going. Yeah. You could be driving and be like, well, guess I'm going to go drive in a lake now. Like, they don't know. They have no idea what you're doing. They have no idea where you're going. They just stick a baby in your car and expect you to know how to do fucking everything.
Yeah. I
There's
think
like,
that's
here you go. Don't break it. Bye.
Yeah. Their job is just to get it here.
And you're like, what the fuck do I do?
Their job is just to get it here, healthy, in the car, and you out of the parking lot.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like car salesmen. Like, once you drive it off the lot, it's yours, motherfucker.
It's very true. But I mean, think about like, so that's scary in its own right.
Yeah, that's fucking terrifying when you're driving home with a baby in the back and you're like, what did I do?
Yeah. Well, and so kind of coming from a male perspective on this, like when my wife was pregnant, like, I mean, yeah, I knew she was pregnant. I helped her out. I took care of her and everything.
Exactly.
But it doesn't really hit you until you're there. Like a woman's going through changes. Like she knows something's coming, you know, for 9 months and they're ready to get it out
for it. And like, there's hormonal changes. There's, you know, it feels way more. And I mean, this might not be the case with every woman, because I don't know if you know this, Shawn, not a woman, so I don't know the experience. But I would conjecture that like it feels way more real to them than it does to us.
Yeah, and I'm coming from, my wife and I had this conversation because it was kind of like, I think I'm ready. She's like, you're not even like in the moment yet.
Yeah.
Like you're like, yeah, having a kid's cool. It's kind of like, be like, oh yeah, sweet, we should get 6 dogs. That'd be sweet. Like you don't have 6 dogs on like in your car at the moment.
Yeah. And it's not like somebody just shoves 6 dogs in your car. It's like, okay, bye. And then you're like, wait, what?
Yeah. They eat how much? Yeah. How do you feed it? What if it doesn't eat?
Yeah. What happens when it cries and it doesn't sleep for 4 days? What do you do?
And that's the thing, like you talk about like what scares me. Now we're just getting into like middle-aged scary stuff.
See, now we're getting into what's really terrifying. The like, real.
When you have that newborn kid and like you're getting a good night's sleep, like you're going to wake up and be like, wait, why aren't they up yet? Like, why aren't they screaming? It's 2 a.m.
Oh my God.
You run in there, put your hand on
for
them.
The first couple months, how many times did you just like get up in the middle of the night just to walk over and put your hand on the baby and just be like, okay, we're good.
I'm not going to lie, Richard. I still do that now.
Really?
Yeah. Although my son is like a super loud snorer, so it's not too bad. Like I walk in, just peek my ear and I hear like that's something he got from my dad 100%. But yeah, and then you're like, I think I felt him breathe. You kind of shake him a little bit to wake him up. And like,
yeah,
like
and then your wife's like, didn't you remember the video? And then you're like, oh God, I shook it too hard.
Well, no, then I'm like, babe, he's hungry. Breastfeeding, going to bed.
But yeah, it's fucked up. You go to the hospital, and then 3 days later, they're like, okay, here.
So,
don't worry, you'll know what to do. Bye.
A rational fear that I had, because my mom had this irrational fear. I guess like during the 80s, like all their Dateline stuff was talking about kids getting switched at birth.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing I always remember was Unsolved Mysteries. You remember they had there was always an Unsolved Mystery story about people getting switched at birth or twins that were separated at birth.
Oh yeah.
Or like, like babies that like, got sold to some fucking baby broker.
Well, I mean, think about it. Like, let's be honest. Most babies look very similar, right?
Like you get like babies that got snatched and just like driven one town over and given to a whole nother family.
I just imagine like one nurse pushing 4 bassinets and they spill and they all fall over. Like, oh God. Okay, I guess boy here, girl here.
Like all the bonnets fall off and you're like, I don't know what to do.
I don't know. Who organized this?
You look like a boy. Blue for you.
But my mom, she said that when I was born, she like put a little like nail mark in my arm.
Really?
Just so like when she got, because I mean, like, when you're born, like they like throw the kid on the mom. Like, okay, we got to clean it up and then we'll bring you back later. I was with our son the whole time.
Your mom's like, wait, give me a Sharpie and draw some X on your forehead.
She's like, John, does that look like a dick? But like my son, while we're there, we were with him pretty much the whole time, except like 2 or 3 hours. Because the nurse came in and she's like, hey, I'm going to take him to the nursery so you guys can get some sleep. But like now what they do is they basically have like these bracelets that they put on like right when they're born on their legs and stuff. And like the parents get it.
With the little barcodes on it.
Yeah, but like even then, it's like they're like beep beep beep. Like, wait, why'd that sound different? No reason. Bye, guys.
Yeah,
you drive it off the lot. It's yours.
Yeah. Enjoy, little Dennis. Dennis looks like a Denise. Whatever. Bye.
Oh man, scary stuff to think about.
And then you're like, well, it's got a blue bonnet on, so I guess it's Dennis.
Yeah. Like even now, I look at my kid and I'm like, are you really my kid?
Yeah.
And then he comes over and farts in my head. I'm like, yep, you're mine.
Don't ever take your bonnet off. That's how I lose you.
So going back,
my kids wore that barcode for 14 years.
Mm-hmm. Don't take that off. It's like, but it's cutting off circulation.
Dad, it hurts.
The last thing I'll say, like, if you kind of want like a very fear like experience, I saw there's a video game called Dead by Dawn, I think, or Dead by Daylight.
Dead by Daylight.
They've got a lot of add-ons like Michael Myers.
Yeah.
And I think they're all based off of kind of like the Friday the 13th idea. It's like a survival game. And Friday the 13th is kind of creepy because you basically run around, you don't know where the killer is, and you're like, well, should I hide? Should I try to build something? And there is a lot of that. Like, it got my heart pounding the few times I've played it.
It seems like the trick with Friday the 13th is you gotta get you gotta figure out how to get the car started, and then you just drive on out. That's how you win at Friday the 13th. It's all about that car. Hurry up and get the battery. Get the battery in the car. Find the keys. Find the battery. Like, get it done.
You know how else?
It seems like that's the surefire way that everybody gets out is by car.
Jason also knows that, so he just hangs around that car.
Yeah. Yeah. But it seems like the car and the boat, like that's how it's done.
Yeah, I saw something like he can drown people in that too.
Yeah.
Which I didn't realize until I was playing and I saw that. I was like, oh, that sucks. But Richard, I don't want to spook you too much. I don't want you to get too scared. So I guess why don't we tidy this up with some Richard's closing thoughts?
Fear is what you make of it. And you can either live with it or live in spite of it. That's how you deal with it.
Yeah, the only thing to fear is fear itself.
Fear itself and daddy long legs.
Oh, daddy.
Ooh, see, I don't like it when you do it.
I know, right? That's probably going to get edited out. I don't want Granddaddy Long Legs starting to listen to us.
Yeah.
All right, well, let me do a little bit of housekeeping. Visit our website, we're languageofbros.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at languageofbro. Email us at bros@languageofbromance.com. And we always like to thank our best trick-or-treaters, our Patreon members, Wendy and Aaron.
You guys never terrify us.
Never. We would join you in battle against the Granddaddy Long Legs.
Yeah. You guys can be my daddy.
They're like, oh, I'm not listening anymore.
Nope, I'm not into that.
All right. Well, is there anything else before I close her out?
No, I'm good, sir.
All right. Well, that's all the bromance we have for this show. I'm Shawn.
And I'm Richard.
And remember, don't be a why. Be a why
not.